If you are a Lakers fan, if you are a Suns fan, especially if you're a Dallas fan, please use this link to get some mental help because I understand that all three of you guys definitely need it after the disasters that happened this season. I use it when we depend on you most. The beard becomes the bust. Because let's keep it a bean here, whether you guys want to agree with me or not, the only reason that the Lakers are seen as contenders year after year is because they have a name of LeBron James on the team. Kawhi Leonard is healthy, and James Harden shows up in big games, the Clippers can win. So in other words, the Clippers are never winning. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. If you know me, you know who I am. If you don't, my name is Trey Fab. I'm a React content creator. I like to make different React content, whether that be to TikTok, YouTube, drama, nonsense, or to basketball, modern NBA, and different basketball insight in general. So if you like basketball content, I'm the guy for you. And if you like brain rot content, I'm the guy for you. So today, we're going to be reacting to a video. But before we do, we got to talk about the playoffs a little bit because obviously that's what's been going on. First things first, we'll start with the Nuggets game. We'll start with the two games last night, and then we'll talk about the two games today that are going to be happening. Now, the Nuggets, they were able to pull this win off in OKC. Jokic had a ridiculous stat line, but when does he not have a ridiculous stat line? 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and he had 2 blocks. Let me say that one more time. He had 2 blocks. Okay? Okay? SGA had 33 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He played all right. One thing I really want to bring up is the fact that everyone really stepped up for the Nuggets. Russell Westbrook dropped 18. Jamal Murray gave you 21. Gordon gave you 22. Ron gave you 11. Now, Michael Porter Jr. didn't play well. He gave you 2. They're going to need him to step up for sure. But one thing I really want to bring up as far as the series goes, I still got OKC. And funny enough, I still got OKC at 6. I just don't think that the Nuggets are going to be able to overcome the fact that they don't have like a good coach, right? Getting rid of your coach is a big thing, especially when the teams are this close as far as skill wise. When the skill gap is this close, every little thing matters, right? So when the skill gap is like 1-1, it's like, okay, so what is the little edge that they have, speaking of the OKC Thunder, that the Nuggets don't? A competent coach. And I can see a coach being the difference between a win in the series and a loss. And I also don't know, nor do I believe, that as much as I love Jokic, I think as long as your coach is competent, they're going to stop him from doing 42 and 22 and 2 blocks. Okay? They're going to figure him out enough, right? I still think he's going to have a triple-double stat line because he's a walking triple-double. But 42 and 22 is absolutely ridiculous. And we also got to look at the fact that it came down to a game winner by Aaron Gordon, and he dropped his stat line. Now, do I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to step up? Of course he is, you know? But do I think Russell Westbrook is going to continue to play this well? I'm not sure. Jamal Murray might have a step-up game as well. This is just one of those things where I think OKC just, again, they have so much on their team. So much on their team that they're working with. And it's so evenly distributed that I just don't see the Nuggets being able to overcome that. They have Jokic. They have the best player in the world. That is true. But again, when your team is just coached well, and you just got a first-year coach, not even a first-year coach, a first few game coach, I think that's going to matter in the long run. So we'll see what happens, but a really good win by the Nuggets nonetheless, and we're going to see what happens moving forward. Now, the Knicks and the Celtics. This was a fun game to watch. It was. Mikal Bridges being able to steal the ball at the end to really seal that victory. I think it's going to continue to be a fun series to watch. I think Jalen Brunson is the truth. he played well. Anunoby played well. They played well as a team in general. You know, Karl Anthony Towns, I think he was all right. Obviously, he can give you more points, but 13 rebounds is something I'll take all day, every day. One thing I want to speak on again, though, is I don't like doing the Stephen A thing, and I never will do that. Did they lose this game? Or did the other team win this game? Or did the other team lose this game? Or did they win this game? I hate that shit. Did the Celtics lose this game? Or did the Knicks win this game? It's like, nah, bro. I'm pretty sure the Celtics lost. But one thing I will bring up, it is one of those things where they went 15 of 60 from 3. Let me say that again. They went 15 of 60 from 3. Let me say that a third time. They went 15 of 60 from 3. They took 60 shots from 3. 60 fucking threes. That is disgusting. That is absolutely gross. The fact that you took 60 threes and you missed 40 plus and you still only lost by 3? Remember what I told you guys with the Orlando game and the Celtics game when they had a similar shooting night as far as percentage-wise. Percentage-wise, nowhere near 3-point-wise, because this is fucking gross. But percentage-wise, when shit wasn't falling, and I said, yeah, this was a terrible game percentage-wise from the field goal range. But I just don't know if they're going to have continuous games like that. And I feel this way about the Celtics. I honestly feel like this has been fun. This has been a fun playoffs to watch. But this is just one of those years where I really just think it's going to come down to the two teams that everybody low-key thought it was going to come down to regardless. I think it is going to come down to OKC and the Celtics. I think that's the finals we're getting, and I don't see how that changes. I could be wrong, but I think that's just what it's going to be. We'll see what happens, but good job on the Knicks. Good job on the Nuggets taking these games. Anything could happen, and right now they're in control of the series, so let's not throw away these teams because they're in control of the series. So let's see what happens. But I still got the Celtics, and I still got the Thunder taking it from them. Now, the Pacers versus the Cavs. The Pacers made a statement against the Cavs taking game 1. I don't feel confident in the Cavs like I do with the Celtics. I just don't. I would not be shocked if the Pacers beat the Cavs. So I'm not sure how much I can really say on this series. I do like, Mobley. I do like Mitchell. I do like the lineup that the Cavs have, and I do like how they've been playing. I just don't know if I like them enough to take them over Halliburton and the Pacers. I mean, they got Siakam. They got a lot of good pieces on the Pacers. So tonight, I'm going to say the Cavs win out of desperation, considering they got a home court advantage, and you really don't want the Pacers taking 2 home games away from you. But other than that, I wouldn't be shocked if it went 7 or 6 and the Pacers took it. But for now, I'll say the Cavs still can win in 7, and I think they do win tonight. And then for the Warriors and Timberwolves, I just think the Warriors, after 2 days of rest, did not have enough rest at all. And now they're going up against the Timberwolves, who just were fresh off beating the Lakers, which is going to give them confidence. No matter how incompetent the Lakers were playing, it's going to give them a fresh air, a little bit of fresh air and some confidence to go ahead and say, hey, we can beat any team here now. And they're going to feel enough confidence to beat the Warriors, and I just don't think the Warriors have enough. They're going to run into the same issues that the Lakers ran into. Now, I think Steve Kerr is going to make better adjustments at times just because he has more coaching experience and has been in the league a lot longer than JJ. But I don't think he's going to be able to make enough adjustments. I think that Draymond Green is going to be a better defender on Rudy Gobert. That is true. I don't see Rudy Gobert dropping a 20-20 double-double on the Warriors. But again, I think the Warriors being small, way smaller than the Lakers, it's going to be trouble against the Timberwolves. I think that Julius Randle or Anthony Edwards, one of them is going to have a field day because Steph Curry is going to have to be on Conley. So then you'll have Jimmy Butler on one of them. So I don't know who exactly Jimmy Butler is going to guard, Randle or Anthony Edwards, but whoever he is on, the other guy is going to go off. That's kind of what happened with the Lakers, you know. Anthony Edwards was getting blitzed, and he was also guarded a lot, whether that be by LeBron or just doubled. And then Julius Randle had that single one-on-one with Luka, and he just tore Luka apart time and time again. So whoever's going to be on Julius or Anthony Edwards, it's going to be a problem. So I'm definitely taking the Timberwolves in game one. I think they got the confidence. I think they're at home. And I don't see like every single home team losing game one. That would be crazy. So I do have the Timberwolves winning tonight. So with a little bit of playoff recap out the way, a little bit of predictions out the way, let's go ahead and get today's video started. We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook, okay? Because he deserves the love. He's been playing well. They took game one, and they just beat the Clippers. So we're going to be reacting to AM Hoops. Russell Westbrook is getting his revenge. So let's get this shit started.
For the end of the Nuggets Game 7 blowout, Russell Westbrook stole the ball from his ex-teammate Ivica Zubac and slammed it down, hanging on the rim. Yelled at the crowd, send their home. The only thing better would have been Russ damaging the rim, so LA had to sit there an extra 20 minutes while they fixed it. But that didn't happen. Instead, Russ said something else after the game that was even more spicy about his old team. See, the Clippers let Russ go, traded him for career backup Chris Dunn, seen here blowing a layup before getting completely benched. Oh, Russ might have blown a layup or two, but dude got his...
Okay. Saying Russ might have blown a layup or two is a little bit of an understatement. Russ has not been exactly clutch when he was needed to be, but he has shown that he still plays well, and we have respect for Russ, even if he has a little bit of mental lapses at the end of game, i.e. a game against the Timberwolves that was not the best. If you guys don't remember, he went ahead and decided to rush a layup that he did not have to do, miss it, and then foul a three-point shooter to lose the game. But we're not there now. We're in the playoffs, and Russ has been playing well, so I'm going to put respect on Russ's name and respect the fact that he's been playing very good. So
his revenge in this series. So what did he say about his old team? Well, Russ has had, honestly, a terrible time since Kevin Durant left him in OKC. Yes, he won MVP, but in the playoffs, he lost in the first round 3 straight years. Then dealt to Houston, who gave up on the center position to try to make it work. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Lands in Washington, swept as an 8 seed. Then the Lakers, still recovering after their terrible decision to trade for him. It got so bad as a Clipper. The hate was so loud, Russ confronted a fan in front of the dude's kid. It was sad. But then, all of a sudden, Russ is back. How did he do it? But we are somehow still dealing with the stigma of therapy. I hear all the time people say, you know, getting help is a good thing. But really they're like, that's good for other people. Just not me. Yeah, right. The block is how we're raised, or cultural norms, or an old school attitude. Like, yeah, you know, my parents' generation just bottled it up. Well, I've realized that just didn't work for me. So if any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone. 62% of adults believe societal attitudes discourage people from seeking mental health. Despite growing up in an era of mental health awareness, 37% of Gen Z believes that those who seek therapy are mentally weak. Well, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp is sponsoring this video, and I'm working with them to stop the stigma around mental health support and encourage more people to get support from a licensed therapist. Therapists listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. They can give you advice and techniques to make positive changes in your life, and BetterHelp's mission is to make starting therapy as easy as possible. So if you think you could benefit from speaking with a licensed therapist, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/amhoops to match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. Use my link.
If you are a Lakers fan, if you are a Suns fan, especially if you're a Dallas fan, please use this link to get some mental help, because I understand that all 3 of you guys definitely need it after the disasters that happened this season.
Gets you 10% off your first month of therapy. Well, for the series, he dropped 14 points on 43% from the field and 42% from 3 for Denver. Compare that to last year, just 6 points on 24% from 3 for the Clips. Both times he came off the bench. So what happened? Well, the first thing is 42% from 3 is the best in a playoff series Russ has ever had. For some reason in Denver, dude has embraced the corner 3. He hit 7 of them in this series, including a Game 1 win to send it to overtime.
Russell Westbrook!
So the reason Russ is thriving in Denver is he's evolving. Dude never shot corner threes like this. Scored 126 points as a cutter off the ball this year, his most since 2012, taking fewer mid-range J's. And they said this man couldn't change his game. Maybe it's playing with unselfish Nikola Jokic.
I think playing with Jokic is a big deal. I don't want to sound... Listen, this is going to be a bit of a hot take, but I think anybody that plays with Jokic is probably going to have a good stat line. He's just that good. In my opinion, he's one of those players that's going to be able to open you up. And when the main focus is definitely going to be on Jokic, he's definitely going to find the ball and put it in your hands. Now, sometimes he's going to take the ball and say, fuck it, move out the way, like he did last night against the Thunder. But a lot of the times, he's going to say, you know what? Let me find my teammates. Maybe it's not hitting or they're blitzing the fuck out of me, so there's got to be someone open. Jokic is probably one of the best passers in the league. Not as a big man, just one of the best passers in the league. So, mad respect to Jokic, and I think having him on the floor is definitely beneficial to Russ.
Maybe it's just the pressure of all that failure for so many years, but dude is different. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, before that big game 1-3, he, blew a wide open layup, but that's all part of the Russell Westbrook experience. And for a guy known for, a little ego, dude actually said, yeah, I know I can be a little crazy.
It may be a turnover, it may be a missed shot, but it may be a steal, maybe a dunk, maybe a missed three, maybe a made three. It's gonna be all of that. It's gonna be everything. So you just take it for how it comes, and whatever happens, you go with it.
Okay, that was actually hilarious. But what did he say right before that? Well, a reporter says that when Russ walked by the media going into the locker room, he said, they picked the wrong person, didn't they? Now who is he talking about? Well, he could mean Chris Dunn, that guy that they traded Russ for, or it could be James Harden, because Harden's now the full-time point guard in LA, but in Game 7, he dropped 7.
Can we talk? Oh my God, bro. Can we talk about James Harden for a second? I forgot to even bring that up, how the Nuggets even got to OKC. Hey, Harden, why are you such a joker when it comes to the playoffs? James, please. James, please, I need you to understand. I need you to look me in my eyes when I tell you this. Why is it when we depend on you most, the beard becomes the bust? Why? I don't understand. It needs to be explained to me. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I will never understand how he can be so good. People just truly don't understand how fucking good James Harden is. Or James Harden was. And then for him to just turn around and be as bad as he is continuously is so fucking infuriating. You have no idea.
Points on 8 field goal attempts. This has got to be one of the weirdest Hall of Fame players of all time, because for some reason, in big games, Harden continues to no-show. He has now lost a Game 7 on 4 different NBA teams. And what's really crazy is he always starts the series well. Like, look at dude's last 3 playoff series. Game 1 this year, 32 points. Rest of the series, average 16. Last year, 28, then 19. But with Philly in 2023, he dropped 45 points in Game 1 against the Celtics, then 18 games 2 through 7, including just 9 points in the final matchup. For some reason, the bigger the moment, the smaller his confidence. It's kind of ironic that now him and Ben Simmons are on the same team. So of course the Clippers were going to lose, right? I mean, unless Kawhi...
That's a dick. That's an asshole thing to say. Ben Simmons and James Harden on the same team? Well, of course they're gonna lose. Like, god damn, that's cold. That's cold as hell.
He just became superhuman, and he was good, but not that. He was by himself on offense. Now, I know a lot of people will point to Harden's 13 assists in Game 7, but he is clearly afraid to shoot the ball. But no, the Clips didn't choose the wrong person, because during the regular season, for some reason, Harden's amazing. I mean, while Kawhi was out for 45 games this year, James carried the offense. He dropped 23 points a game with 9 assists. An all-star for the first time since 2022. Him and Norm Powell were great. LA won 50 games when Vegas predicted 35. So they were the second most surprising team in the entire Western Conference. So in a lot of ways, this season wasn't a disappointment. They got unexpected improvement from Powell and Zubac, who finished runner-up for most improved player, but it wasn't good enough. They just couldn't finish games, especially in Game 4 when they blew a chance to go up 3-1 with that Aaron Gordon buzzer-beating dunk. So
the problem I feel with the Clippers, I don't understand. Different owners doesn't matter. Different coaches doesn't matter. It feels like every year you look at their lineups and you look at what the Clippers have, they should be contenders. Every year the Clippers should be contenders, but for some reason they never contend. Like, it's insane. And I'm not saying the same way that the Lakers are contenders. Absolutely fucking not. Because let's keep it a bean here, whether you guys want to agree with me or not. The only reason that the Lakers are seen as contenders year after year is because they have a name of LeBron James on the team. Point blank period. You take LeBron off the team, okay, we think Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Anthony Davis, and before the Luka trade. All that shit, do you think that's enough for them to win a championship? Okay, take LeBron off the team. We can even do the Luka one. Luka, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes. Is anybody sitting here saying, oh yeah, championship contenders? No. Okay? The only reason that the Lakers are every single year seen as championship contenders, and then every single year they don't win a championship is LeBron's fault, is because LeBron's on the team. Keep it a fucking beat. And then the second thing here, I'm sorry, the Clippers have a lineup. Like you just said, Norman Powell, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Zubac. They have good contribution off the bench. They got Chris Dunn. They have a great lineup year in and year out, and the Clippers, for some reason, never get it done. This has been this way since I was a kid, and the Clippers were Lob City with Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin. They just cannot get it done. I don't know what's going on with the Clippers. I don't know if they're just fucking cursed. I don't understand it, but they just never get it done. And I don't know if they ever will. The Clippers will always be in the conversation as far as being a dark horse or a championship contender, but they never get it done.
What is next? Well, believe it or not, the Clips pretty much have to run it back. Kawhi is under contract for 2 more years, and they will extend James Harden to be the same. Then, LA is targeting the summer of 2027 to completely rework their roster. Until then, the core is in place next year. They've got Kawhi, Harden, Powell, Zubac, Derek Jones Jr., Dunn, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and probably Nick Batum under contract. But
yeah, I'm sorry. Look at that lineup, dog. Look at this lineup. Tell me that's not enough. Tell me that's not enough. Tell me that's not enough contribution from your team to make a championship run at least, even if you don't win. It's just insane. Every single year. This is before James Harden came in with his choking ass. I will never understand this team. I don't understand if they're cursed. I don't understand if Kobe put a hex on them as a Laker so they never win anything. But I just... to this day, I will never get why the Clippers are just a team you should just never bet on as far as making it out the West, because they just never will.
Under contract. But the crazy thing is so many people criticize them for letting Paul George walk last year. Why would a win-now team do that? Well, it turned out PG had the season from hell, so the Clips were able to build a deep team that won 50 games, mostly without their best player. But without PG, they are flexible yet again. They have got space under the luxury tax to sign a big free agent. So what do they need? Well, despite having the oldest roster in the NBA, Clips still had the 15th ranked offense, but number 3 on D and the 5th net rating. So team needs are, first, more shooting. Only Denver took fewer threes this year. Hey, maybe Cam Thomas would come over for the mid-level exception. Kid scored 24 points a game, but not much else. Another inefficient option, D'Angelo Russell is a free agent, and maybe...
No. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're a Clipper fan and you want to prove me wrong and you want to make sure that the Clippers get to the conference finals and past it, do not sign D'Lo. For God's sakes, the Clippers should not sign D'Lo if their goal is to make it to the finals. If their goal is to have a good regular season, sign D'Lo. But if your goal is to make it to the finals, you sign D'Lo and you go ahead and stamp your passports home, because that's all you're going.
Maybe coming off the bench, running a second unit could revive his career. Or maybe trading for somebody like Cam Johnson would give the offense a pop. But look, the obvious team need here is a second star next to Kawhi Leonard. They will continue to be a regular season team with Harden as co-star, because all Harden is a regular season player. Now, I hate to say that because he's so talented, but if you are still defending him at this point, that is on you. Now, as far as trading for a star, the Clips don't own their own first round pick until 2030. So that leaves 2 tradable first rounders, but they're not actually going to do that. Probably work around the edges, but what's crazy about the Clips is they've got almost every position covered. They had so many opportunities to win this series. I mean, Zubac probably played the best defense on Nikola Jokic of anybody you're going to see in the NBA. They even let game 1 go. It was a miracle Denver won that. Russ truly was the X factor in these games, and LA wins this series if he's off the floor. So what they really need is a consistently healthy Kawhi Leonard and James Harden to show up in big games. That's it, which is kind of...
Okay, so as long as Kawhi Leonard is healthy and James Harden shows up in big games, the Clippers can win. So in other words, the Clippers are never winning.
like saying, oh, if only Zion was healthy and in shape. It's not going to happen. So LA will probably just have to ride it out for 2 more years of Kawhi, hope for the best. In the meantime, Russell Westbrook is still alive after getting revenge on his old team. But the other LA team is out of the playoffs too. The Lakers got bounced in the first round, and the media is now blaming Luka. They say the Luka trade has now been exposed, but they're forgetting one very important thing about Luka in LA.
Okay, I don't know what media he's talking about. What? Is that even... I'm sorry. I just don't know what the hell we're talking about. Like, I will admit that Luka's defense was definitely an issue. Luka's defense was 100% an issue, and I hope in the offseason that he goes ahead and works on that. But I don't know. I guess I just have to look more in the media here. I saw JJ Redick getting torn to shreds. I see this shit right here about Luka with Jay Will, but as far as me watching like First Take, I watch First Take, I watch First Things First, I watch all these ESPN shows and Fox Sports shows. I'm not seeing much on these sports channels blaming Luka, more so blaming the team as a whole, blaming JJ, and even blaming LeBron. Yeah, but I'm not seeing like major blame on Luka, besides the obvious of him not playing much defense, which he does need to fucking work on. No one's gonna sit here and disagree with that. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens as far as the series go on. We'll see what happens as far as the offseason. But right now, we're in the playoffs. We ain't talking about the offseason. That was a good video. I liked it. We're going to go ahead and see what the Timberwolves can do tonight. I am, for now, in the next 2 weeks, a Timberwolves fan. Let's fucking go, Ant-Man. I don't care what anybody says. The reason I feel that way is because I am so sick and tired of this push, this narrative push by the media, because I have seen this. All right, Kendrick Perkins has been pushing this. Several different people have been pushing this. If Steph Curry wins a championship, he is put into the GOAT conversation. First of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all, I made a whole video about this. Please go watch it. And third of all, I don't think they're getting past the Timberwolves, okay? I need Timberwolves, please. I'm channeling my fucking, I'm shooting my goddamn waves into you. Come on, baby. Beat the Warriors. You fucking beat the Warriors. Don't you fuck this up. Beat the Warriors. Holy shit. But alright, guys. Look out for my video tomorrow. I'll be uploading my video for my Gorilla versus 100 Men video. That's about 40 minutes long. It's about 20 minutes longer than this one. Jesus Christ. But I rant about that, my little video essay there. You guys can go ahead and watch it. It's going to be similar to this one. But until next time, guys, I love you. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you. Stay safe. Peace out.